What is going on, 80K Sports Performance families? Coach Ryan here with this week's Coach's Corner. And since just yesterday we hit our first 60-degree weather day of 2025, I figured it was a good time to talk about hydration and how that can impact your athlete. A lot of times this is something that is overlooked by a lot of athletes, especially as we come out of the colder winter months and get into our warmer spring and summer months. And it's something that can have a huge impact on your athlete. Studies show that about 50% of athletes show up to training already dehydrated. And that's a big problem, and a big problem for a couple of reasons. With showing up dehydrated, that means that they are going to be at a decreased mental and physical performance levels, so they're not going to be able to physically perform whatever they're doing in their sport or practice, and then also their mental abilities are going to be negatively affected as well, and they're going to be making not as good decisions on the field, which is then again going to affect their play. And on top of that, they're at an increased risk for injury. So they're not going to play as well, they're not going to make as good decisions, and they're more likely to get hurt. All things that we don't want to see for any of our athletes. So one reason to stay hydrated is to avoid those three things. And a lot of times studies have shown that even 1 to 2% loss in body weight from fluids is going to start affecting that. So that's really not a lot, and when we get higher, obviously those effects are magnified. So it's extremely important to make sure that our athletes are hydrated going into their training sessions and remaining hydrated throughout their training sessions. So what can we do to keep our athletes hydrated? Make sure you're bringing a water bottle with you pretty much everywhere you go and sipping on water as best you can throughout the day, and making sure you start your day with a nice glass of 8 to 16 ounces of water is a really great way to get started and not fall behind from the start of your day. Throughout the day, sip on that water. And then before training, make sure you get a good 16-ounce water bottle in, and then make sure that you're drinking water throughout your training session. Our coaches make sure to offer ample water breaks throughout our warm-up, throughout the training session, to make sure that our athletes are staying hydrated no matter what time of year it is. So if your athlete is really looking to maximize their performance and really check all the boxes so that they can really optimize performance, make sure that they're staying hydrated. If you have questions or are looking for strategies on how to keep yourself or your athlete hydrated, feel free to reach out. We'll see you next week.